We know that more than 92% of all consumers and approximately 84% of all business-to-business buyers report that a recommendation from someone they trust is the top influence of their purchase decision. So clearly, recommendations and testimonials are vital. Many companies don't allow their employees to publicly endorse products or services, and many consumers don't make time to recommend. There is another way. Research tells us that simply having someone like or share your content is regarded by many as an endorsement. And if you bring customers in for a roundtable discussion with moderators and experts, and share that content with permission, of course, it is also often regarded as an endorsement. Know someone who needs these tips? Feel free to send this guide along to anyone who needs more credible, higher converting websites. Media Studios, award-winning web design. In the last decade, researchers, policymakers, educators, practitioners, and families have become increasingly aware of the importance of the emotional and social development of infants and toddlers. Development in these early years provides the foundation for the child's future emotional, social, and cognitive development. Research has also indicated that problems that occur in the infant's or toddler's social or behavioral development are likely to be early indicators of more difficult and persistent challenging behavior as the child grows older. The public health model of universal, secondary, and tertiary prevention and intervention practices provide a helpful framework for considering the types of supports that may be provided to very young children and their families. The universal level of prevention, all young children and their families need regular and adequate health care, screening, and the monitoring of their child's development, nurturing relationships with caregivers, parenting advice and support, anticipatory guidance from healthcare providers, high-quality early education and care, and child guidance as the baby begins to interact with others and develop relationships. Prevention efforts may include community programs such as parenting classes, monitoring and home visiting for high-risk parents, community education about child development through pamphlets, videos, television programs, resource and referral support for families who have multiple risk factors, professionally guided playgroups, etc. The tertiary level, when children are showing evidence that there are delays in their social or behavioral development, focused intervention efforts should be provided. Focused intervention may be delivered by home visitors who support families in learning the critical skills needed to support their children's development, and by professionals who work directly with the children to demonstrate to family members and other caregivers strategies and techniques that may be used to support them. The following are considerations that should be addressed when supporting very young children and their families. Intervention for infants and toddlers with challenging behavior is essential. It is never too early to begin to address concerns about a child's problem behavior, although a major task will be to identify if the behavior is developmentally expected or of a level of intensity or persistence that exceeds normal development. It is important to have a full understanding of the infant's or toddler's physical or medical status, developmental status, and medical or intervention history before developing interventions. Addition to information on the child, the interventionist should seek to understand the family system and factors that may affect the child's relationship with others. Intervention approaches for infants and toddlers must be focused on the parent and/or caregiver interaction and the child. Intervention approaches typically include teaching the parent interaction skills to assist the infant and toddler in coping with difficult situations, regulating sensory input, understanding routines, and supporting the child's language and social development. Highly effective approach to intervention is for the interventionist to identify routines or activities that are difficult for the caregiver and child, and to support the caregiver in developing new skills or implementing strategies that reduce the child's discomfort or problem behavior. Natural environment is an optimal location for the intervention. The natural environment includes both home and community settings that the child is likely to access, examples being parks, home, childcare, stores, etc. Treatment offices or clinic settings do not allow the interventionist to observe and analyze the complex factors that occur in the natural environment and affect children's behavior. Approaches should be family-centered and focus on building the capacity of the child's caregivers to read the child's social and emotional cues and facilitate the development of self-regulatory behavior, emotional expression, and social problem solving. Approaches must consider the cultural context of the family. Social development and behavior expectations are culturally defined and may differ across families. Interventionists should be trained in cultural competence and strategies for providing culturally responsive supports. Services and supports should be coordinated with other supports and services the family receives. Interventionists should seek to collaborate with other providers to ensure a comprehensive and coordinated approach.